Greetings and welcome to my channel. This is Sorcerer Tal. You can also find me on Facebook in the Sorcerers Guild. Today on Magical Theory, we're going to talk about love spells. Now there's a lot of controversy around the concept of love spells, and in fact any spell where you are attempting to influence the will of another person is generally a bad idea. There is a lot of moral reasons for this, but we're not really here to discuss morality. There are simply reasons for this, and I'm not talking about karma. I don't necessarily believe in the threefold law. However, there is, as I've talked about before, a flow of synchronicity or fate that comes around every person and flows around them, the pattern of their existence. And that pattern ultimately is created by their will, by their choices. And so when you cast a spell that is directly influencing their choices, their free will, then that causes a ripple within their line of fate. And that ripple within their line of fate can cause all kinds of unexpected things to happen. It's almost radioactive in a way. It ripples out and begins affecting all kinds of things and can cause all kinds of negative impacts. And when you are connected to that ripple, which you are going to be, because if you're casting a love spell on someone, that is linking them to you. So that ripple won't just affect them, it also will affect you and begin putting ripples and little chinks in your line of fate and begin messing with you and your path in life. Another reason that you don't want to do this is, well, you're never going to be certain about that person's love for you. You're always going to feel insecure, possibly jealous, or the person can become obsessed and become fixated on you, and after a while you may wish to get rid of them. There is a plethora of reasons why it's just not a good idea to cast a love spell directly on someone. I know it can be tempting, and there are many people, myself included, who have made this mistake in the past. So this isn't just a warning that I give you from armchair occultism. In my younger days, I have made mistakes myself, and it's just not a good road to go down. It was outside of the moral implications. Like I said, it's just not a good place to go. So, if we want to cast a love spell, it is better then, rather than aiming for a particular person, to cast a spell to draw love into your life. You can even go as far as listing off the qualities of the person that you want to draw to you. Some people believe you can actually manifest people into your life this way. What you would do if you were wanted to do that then would be to write a list down of everything you wanted in an ideal partner. Maybe even imagine a form, almost as if you were creating an egregore, and imagine this person being breathed into life and drawn towards you. Now if there's someone that you are desiring while you're thinking about this, don't intentionally describe that person, because then you're just doing the same thing and it's going to wind up in the same slippery slope. You want to just describe the qualities of the ideal mate. And that is one way to go about it. However, we only work within the probabilities that are possible. Some people do believe you can literally manifest a person this way. However, I have found that it is best to simply call out to an ideal mate. In fact, in this case, this is an area where I will often choose to call out to a god or a goddess. Often I will use Oshun from Yoruba, or else I will just call out to Aphrodite I have done that before as well, and given her gifts of roses to draw love towards me. Or there is actually a horde member known as Terrassus. He is the patron beast of love and protector of the sanctity of violence, and he deals with passions. He can help you draw love towards you, but he is more about making you feel love, about driving the passions in you. It's a great entity to call on if you are having trouble in your relationship, especially if you have reached that lull state. Then calling on Terrassus at that point would be a great idea. Like I said, anytime we're working with love, this is an area where it's good to have that outer perspective of a third party. So it's a good idea to call upon a god or a goddess of love when you are considering casting a love spell. When you are casting a love spell for another person, I also would suggest that you consult one of these goddesses, such as Oshun. That is the one that I will most typically consult when I am working with love spells for a client. Okay, so let's see. We've covered about gods. We've covered why you don't want to cast direct love spells. We've covered drawing spells drawing love towards you. Another aspect of the love spells is glamour magic. And this is the idea of, rather than drawing love to you, making yourself more desirable. And there are several forms of glamour magic. That would be a video in and of itself. But sigil work is a great way to go for an early idea of this. And like I said there, the idea is simply to make oneself more desirable. I would often suggest using honey and roses and create a kind of sweetening jar with yourself as the target and simply make yourself sweeter and more attractive. You would add roses, honey, sweet smelling herbs and oils, incense, that sort of thing. Perhaps some dove's blood ink, some sweetgrass, stuff like that. Okay, so that will be it for this episode of Magical Theory. Thank you once again for joining us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take the opportunity to do so now. And don't forget to join us later this week, where I will be doing another episode of Sorcery Self-Defense. Until then, bright blessings and an interesting fate. This has been Sorcerer Tal.